One of my New Year goals that I am pretty proud of myself for sticking to is cooking more meals at home. And thanks to HelloFresh, that is literally easier than ever. HelloFresh gets you farm fresh, pre portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. You can count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable, and that's why it is America's #1 meal kit. I personally love HelloFresh. I've never been disappointed in any of the recipes. They're always so delicious, and I find myself actually craving them. Go to HelloFresh.com/manifest16 and use code manifest16 for up to 16 free meals and 3 free gifts. Again, that's HelloFresh.com/manifest16 and use code manifest16 for up to 16 free meals and 3 free gifts. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. I go to therapy every week and it is something that I truly look forward to. I feel like I don't have to dig for anything going on bad in my life. Sometimes therapy really can just be someone to talk to and you leave feeling typically a lot better. BetterHelp is online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp, and Manifest with Tori DeSimone listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/Tori. That's BETTERHELP.com/Tori. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Manifest with Tori DeSimone. I'm your host, Tori DeSimone, and I hope you guys are having a great day so far. I filmed an Instagram reel this morning if you wanted to see how my morning was. I posted on my Instagram last week, so it's up there if you guys want to see how I spent my morning. I've been having a lot of fun making Instagram reels. I think they're just so fun. Oh, but real quick, there's a hack that I saw about how you can increase your video quality on your iPhone, and you go into settings, camera, and then you adjust your video to 4K at 60 frames per second FPS. So I did that. I filmed the whole thing in that, but Instagram cannot handle it. So I had to decrease the quality back to 1080 just for Instagram to be able to handle it, which is so funny because Apple makes phones that are capable of such insane quality, but none of the apps can handle it. Crazy. Anyway, whatever. How are you guys? I hope you guys are having a great day. I'm having a good day. It's Thursday. It's cloudy. It's gloomy, but I'm excited because I'm going to my friend Chelsea's head spa tonight. I will let you guys know how it goes next week. I'm also vlogging it so you guys can see it in a vlog, but a head spa. Have you ever seen those ASMR videos on YouTube? And it's this girl, I think she's in Japan, and she goes to all these head spas and they clean your scalp and they do all these amazing treatments. I think it's something like that. I'm not exactly sure, but all I know is I am so excited to go. And I literally can't wait. This episode is also on video if you guys prefer watching it on video. The YouTube channel is Just Manifest with Tori DeSimone. And I like when you guys comment on the video and tell me your thoughts. It makes me really happy. Today's episode, however, is going to be all about my next half marathon and the training program that goes into it. I'm also going to dive into what I learned last time, what I'm doing differently this time, and tips if you guys want to get started as well. Every time I post about running on my YouTube or my Instagram, I get so many DMs, comments, questions. So I think there's a pretty big running community out there within my Manifest people, which I really, really love. So I wanted to do this during I've been watching a lot of Nick Bear, and he always calls it prep, during the marathon prep. I don't know why I gave him that accent. That's not how he talks. Yeah, I don't necessarily call it a prep, but I guess this is a half marathon training. So I wanted to do it in the middle of my training rather than wait till I was done. That's what I did my first half marathon, because it was my first one. I didn't know anything. I still don't know a lot, but I feel a lot more confident going into this prep or this training than I did last time. Last time I honestly went in it with the only goal of finishing it. And I did it, and I was so proud, and it was so fun. And as soon as I was done that race, I was like, I'm totally going to run again. And then I went out for a run like a week or so later, and I could only do a mile, which is crazy, but I only did a mile. And I was like, this sucks. I don't want to run. And then I haven't ran for the past, let's see, that race was in November. I didn't run December, January, and now it's like the middle of February. So I didn't run for about 2.5 months. And then about a week and a half ago, I started to get the urge to run. And I was like, oh man, is it coming back? One of my friends, Britt, told me that some runners will not run in the winter because it's too cold. She told me that in like the height of my long distances for my Philly half marathon that I did in November of 21. And I was like, oh, I'll definitely keep running through the winter. And then the winter hit, and I was like, there's no way I'm running through the winter. This absolutely sucks. So I learned that I don't like running in cold weather. That's fine. But literally, as soon as it started to get just a little warmer out, I wanted to go for a run. And then Nick Bear, who I've followed Nick for years and years and years. I've always been a big supporter, a big fan. I think he's really, really great. And I know a lot of you guys watch his content. If you don't, you definitely should. He's very inspiring, very motivational, very hardcore, but in a digestible way. Someone else that's hardcore, for example, is David Goggins, but he's hardcore in like a non-digestible way. It almost feels like, I know his whole message is like, if I can do it, you can do it, but he'll like do ultra marathons, which are long marathons. Like they can be increments of like 50 miles, 100 miles, 200 miles, etc. He'll do a 100-mile ultra marathon back-to-back weekends for like 8 weeks. And he's like, you can do it too. I love that you can do that, Mr. David Goggins. But it's like so intimidating. But Nick does a really good job at making his really ambitious goals very bite-sized and digestible, and you feel like you can do it too. He's a really great guy to watch. I highly encourage to check out his YouTube, Instagram. He has a podcast that I really like. He's very cool. He's also an entrepreneur, so I really vibe with him. He's been a huge inspiration behind this whole marathon training and the goals that I have going into it. It's just, he's really cool. So I definitely recommend following him. And I'm kind of getting ahead of myself because I wanted to talk a little bit about Love is Blind Part 2 because I talked about it last week. So I will get into that in a minute. But anyway, the running bug has hit me again. And I'm excited to dive into this next training phase. And I'm excited to share what I learned from last time, what I'm going to be improving upon, what I'm changing, and how if you guys have a goal to run any sort of race, whether it's a mile, a 5K, a 10K, a 10 miler, a half marathon, that's pretty much all I can provide insight for because the farthest I've ever run is a half marathon. But also, if you don't want to run, I feel like all this stuff can be pulled out into other goals that you might have in your life. But I guess this is a rather running heavy episode. Okay, let's put a pause on this very quickly so I can talk about Love is Blind Part 2. So when I say Part 1, I'm referring to the first 5 episodes that were released in the beginning of February. Part 2 were the next 4 episodes, and then I guess Part 3 is like the finale where the weddings are. So I'm talking about Part 2 because when I'm recording this, it's February, I think today's the 24th. Yeah, it is the 24th. It's February 24th, so the finale comes out tomorrow. My opinions have changed a lot since the last time I talked about it. And honestly, so I recorded this episode last week on Wednesday, like the one you guys saw last week. That was on Wednesday. And then Love is Blind came out 2 days later. And I was honestly really nervous for last week's episode to go up because a lot of my opinions changed. And I didn't want, I don't know, I was just nervous. Like a lot of my opinions changed, but I realized like, you know, I said it was only the first part. So a lot of my opinions changed from Part 2 to Part 1. Let's see, where do I even begin? Okay, Shane is so crazy. It's so funny. There's this one, I'll put it up on the screen if you guys are watching on video, but there's this one meme of Shane that I saw on Instagram yesterday that every time I like look at it, I literally just crack up because he's just a walking meme. Um, my phone hates when it's near the recorder. Okay, I'm gonna put it on the video, but essentially it's just Shane with like his crazy eyes. And he's like, that sounds crazy, but I just know her. I feel like I've known her for years now. And it's, he's just crazy, dude. He's just like a literal meme. I have to say, though, I am liking Shane more in the second half of the series just because he is so like he's very into Natalie. I have to admit, the first part when I was like, "Oh, I want Shane and Shayna to meet," I'm really glad that they met, but I wanted more of it in the second part. Um, but I totally thought Shane was gonna be like cheating on Natalie, honestly, with Shayna, and I guess that's maybe how the show made it look. But Shayna was really hyping him up, but then they like totally just shut Shayna out of the show. I would have loved to see more of Shayna after meeting Shane. Like, what did she think of him? Was she still attracted to him? Did she still want to be with him? Maybe they'll show us more of that in the finale. I kind of doubt it though. But I really did want to see more of that. Like, because that to me is just like a plot hole. Like, what happened there? Like, does she still think these things? What does he think? Because he clearly had feelings for Shayna. And I honestly think that the reason he went for Natalie in the pods was because Natalie expressed her feelings. And we've now seen that Shane is very much so someone that needs to be reassured. He likes being told that he's like good looking, that he's handsome, that he's funny, that he's like, he loves compliments. So I think Natalie telling him in the pods, like, oh, I have feelings for you, made her his number one. But I think if Shayna said it earlier, he would have like proposed to Shayna. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's just what I think. I still think Natalie's too good for him. I hope she finds someone else. I really do. But I have to say, I do like him a little bit more in the second half. I love his mom, like, sweetest woman ever. And I love Natalie's parents. Like, I feel like that dynamic is actually good. And like, I hear a lot of people say, like, they don't think anyone's going to get married. And I totally agree with that. I do think they all are with the wrong people. But I guess those two would get married if anything else. And I can't believe I'm saying that because last week I was like, there's no way. But I do kind of see it now, like compared to all the other couples, like definitely Natalie and Shane. But I still think Natalie's too good for Shane. But I did like Shane a lot because he was like, when Shayna was like literally coming at them, being like, your relationship is fake, it's a fraud, da da da. He was very like, he defended Natalie, he defended his relationship, and that was really good because he had a huge opportunity to, you know, kind of be like really scummy in that moment, and he didn't. So he passed the vibe check on that, in my opinion. Let's see what else. This whole thing with like Sal and another girl, I don't get it. I don't get it. I just don't. I just feel like it's so out of character. I also said last week that like I would go for someone like Sal. Looks wise, yes, but personality wise, no, not at all. I don't know. There's something about singing. I love that people think it's like cute, but if a guy sang to me, I think I would like crawl away. I don't know. It's just so awkward to me. I wouldn't be able to handle it. Not me. Not my vibe. I'd laugh out of just being uncomfortable. I get the gesture. It's so cute. Not for me though. Yeah, they're kind of boring. They're like honestly so whatever. Oh, let's talk about Nick and Danielle. They need help. Like we already saw that Danielle said yes to Nick. Nick better say no. I like no shade to either of them. They just don't work. Danielle needs help. Like she's just severely insecure, and I feel so bad for her because she doesn't know how beautiful she is. She doesn't know how funny she is. Like she's such a catch. She's funny. She has this fun personality. Her family is fantastic. She's all that, you know? But she's so in her head, and she is just so limiting to herself. It's so hard to watch, and she's just constantly picking fights. And I feel bad for her watching back on the season because Like, imagine if you were fighting with your significant other and it was recorded and you had to go back and watch it when nothing's going wrong, and here you are just picking fights all the time. Like, that must be really hard for her. I think Nick is mature enough to say no and realize that this is not the right relationship for them, especially since he's been in long relationships in the past and he's never wanted to get married to them. I think he takes it seriously. So I really hope he's going to pull through and say no, just because the two of them together are a disaster. A disaster, which sucks because I really like Nick. I really like Danielle. They can't be together though. Danielle needs to work on herself and truly love herself before she can love anyone else, because it's coming, like, they have like a third party in their relationship. It's Nick, it's Danielle, and then it's Danielle's insecurities. It's literally like a third party. Like, it needs to be addressed through just Danielle, and I hope she like finds it, because she's beautiful, she's a catch, she's all that. Yeah, it's hard to watch. It really, really is. So I wish them the best, but I hope Nick says no. We'll see though. Who else? Ayana and Jared. Okay. I love Ayana. She's just the cutest thing ever. Like, she is so freaking cute. I really like Jared. I like him a lot. I like how he's so committed to being like, I really want to find a wife. This is really what I want. Da da da. But the whole staying out, like when Ayana was like, I'm not even asking you to come home early. Like 3 a.m., I feel like is reasonable. What is this man doing? Staying out till like 5 a.m. on a Tuesday? What are you doing? And what is his career? Like, does his career allow him to do that? Like, is he a producer? Like, I know a lot of music producers, like, they work during the night. Is that his vibe? Or is he just like literally going out and partying? I don't get it. What's that saying? People say, like, not my circus, not my monkeys, not my relationship. However, I would not want to be with someone that was out till 5 a.m. on weeknights without me. But then again, I wouldn't want to go out on weeknights anyway until 5 a.m. I just don't, like, they just don't seem to mesh lifestyle wise, but I like the two of them a lot. So we'll see how that goes. I think Jared really does want a wife, but also him just like always having all this stuff from like exes and how much he like loves being friends with exes. Definitely a red flag to me. I don't know. I've dated people like that in the past where they like still talk with their exes, and you just got to be really mentally strong and you just got to be really secure in your relationship. But it's also up to the man to like show you that, like, even though he is friends with his exes, like, he's still all about you. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's between them. Kind of weird. Shake and Deepti, have they done it yet? Like, I don't know. To me, I feel bad for her because he's just constantly airing her out, like, all over the season. He's like, I'm not attracted to her. She's my aunt, da da da. Not like literally, but like that's what he says. Like, he compares her to his aunt, and I just feel bad for her. But he's also like such a tool. Like, his Tesla, and he drives like all the way back. Like, he's such a tool. But then he's also so nice at moments. So I don't know how to take him. Like, I like him, but I hate him, but I like him, but I hate him all at the same time. And I hope, like, I don't know, he's just embarrassing her. He really is. And I feel really bad for her. I think she's beautiful. Like, she is like beautiful. All these girls are. Like, I just don't get it. Like, these guys just don't see what's in front of them. They really don't. So I don't know. I really like Deeps, and I hope that they make it, because I think that they would have such a beautiful marriage, especially when you met their families. And I think it was Deepti's parents had an arranged marriage, and like it turned out so beautifully, and like I just loved it. And like their families seemed to intertwine so well. I loved the chemistry between the families. I love them together. So I hope they can like make it work. I'm also so excited to see their wedding because it just looks beautiful. So I'm excited for them. I hope they make it, and I hope Shake starts telling her that she's beautiful instead of that he's not attracted to her. Who wants to hear that? Who am I missing? Oh, Shane and Kyle, whatever. They're annoying. I think that's it, right? If I forgot anyone, deepest apologies. But yeah, that's what I think about Love is Blind Part 2. I'm excited to see Part 3. I'm excited to see the weddings. I hear a lot of people say that they don't think anyone's going to make it. I think Shane and Natalie are going to get married. Can't believe I'm saying that, but I do think that. I think Jared and Ayana are going to get married. And I think Deeps and Shake are going to get married. I don't think Mallory and Sal will get married, and I don't think that Nick and Danielle will get married. Those are my predictions. And then who will stay together? I think Shake and Deeps will stay together. And I think Natalie and Shane will stay together. At least for a year. They'll get divorced in a year from like it airing. Horrible to say, but those are my predictions. We'll see in a year if that's true. Okay. One quick side note. I like Heather Dubrow. Can't believe I'm saying that either. A couple episodes ago, I was flaming her. Absolutely saying that everyone bows down to her. It's true. They do. But she's growing on me and I like her. Just had to put that out there. Public service announcement. Okay. Let's get into today's episode, which is my next half marathon and my training program that goes along with it. So I'm very excited to talk about this today. It's my favorite time of the week to talk about skincare. And lately I am obsessed with Osea skincare. They are hands down my absolute favorite in the game right now. And that's a lot for me to say because I have so many products. Anyway, I love Osea. They are absolutely amazing. What's really cool is that Osea has been creating clean, vegan, and cruelty-free products since 1996 that are safe for your skin and the planet. And they've done it again. They've just released a body butter that is proven to moisturize the skin for up to 72 hours. I lather this on, go to bed, and I wake up the next morning with literally transformed skin. I highly encourage you guys to try their new body butter. It is so divine. Find your new skincare favorites at OseaMalibu.com and get a special discount just for our listeners. Get 10% off your first order with promo code MANIFEST at OseaMalibu.com. You'll get free samples with every order, and orders over $50 get free shipping. You're going to want it all. Go to OSEAMalibu.com and use code MANIFEST. One of my favorite ways to get greens in my diet while tasting delicious is in a smoothie. And I always love a smoothie, but I don't like the cleanup of it. It's so messy, especially when I use like a big blender. But lately, that's why I've been going towards a NutriBullet. For those of you who are not familiar, NutriBullet is the easy to use, easy to clean, affordable blender. NutriBullet has sold more than 60 million units worldwide. And once you've used it once, it's easy to see why. With other blenders, cleanup can be such a pain. Sometimes it might even feel like you need a dedicated cleanup crew after each use, but with the NutriBullet, cleanup is truly hassle-free. NutriBullet's signature blending process transforms high-fiber fruits, veggies, nuts, and seeds into silky, nutrient-dense smoothies that are easy to digest and absorb. I had a NutriBullet in college, and it was truly a lifesaver. The NutriBullet Blender Combo is the most versatile NutriBullet, allowing you to effortlessly switch between single-serve and full-sized blending. Go to NutriBullet.com and use promo code MANIFEST for 20% off your order. Once again, that's NutriBullet.com and use promo code MANIFEST for 20% off. If you don't have a NutriBullet in your kitchen, you are missing out. One of my New Year goals that I am pretty proud of myself for sticking to is cooking more meals at home. And thanks to HelloFresh, that is literally easier than ever. HelloFresh delivers pre-portioned ingredients to your door, including farm-fresh produce that arrives within a week. So you get convenience without skimping on the quality. You can skip the trip to the grocery store, which trust me, I am all about, and you will save the wait in long lines, ensuring that you don't waste money on excess food. HelloFresh also has fit and wholesome recipes for satisfying and nutritious meals that you can feel good about, with 6 recipes per week to choose from, including low-calorie and carb-conscious options. I personally love HelloFresh. I've never been disappointed in any of the recipes. They're always so delicious, and I find myself actually craving them even if I don't have a HelloFresh scheduled to come that week. I absolutely adore it, and I always get enough so that I have leftovers the next day. I really make these meals last. What's also really cool is Green Chef is now owned by HelloFresh, and with a wider array of meal plans to choose from, there's something for everyone. I personally love switching between the brands, and now my listeners can enjoy both brands at a discount with me. Go to HelloFresh.com/manifest16 and use code manifest16 for up to 16 free meals and 3 free gifts. Again, that's HelloFresh.com/manifest16 and use code manifest16 for up to 16 free meals, and 3 free gifts. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. Relationships take work. A lot of us will drop anything to go help someone we care about. We'll go out of our way to treat other people well, but how often do we give ourselves the same treatment? We often talk a lot on the show about working out for, all the mental benefits that it gives, but also what about the mental workouts as well? That's where therapy comes into play and why I'm so happy that the show is sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. BetterHelp is online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. It's so much more affordable than in-person therapy, and it can be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. Give it a try and see why over 2 million people have used BetterHelp Online Therapy. I go to therapy every week, and it is something that I truly look forward to. I feel like I don't have to dig for anything going on bad in my life. Sometimes therapy really can just be someone to talk to, and you leave feeling typically a lot better. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp, and Manifest with Tori DeSimone listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/Tori. That's BetterHelp.com/Tori. The running bug, like I said earlier, has officially hit me again, and I signed up to run a half marathon. This half marathon is down at the beach, and it's on May 7th. So it's roughly, I think, how many weeks is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's in about 11 weeks, which is ideally less time than I would normally prepare for when it comes to trainings. But because I feel like I just ran my half 2.5 months ago, and I do spin twice a week, my cardiovascular is pretty good. So I feel pretty good with this. So I have 11 weeks, and typically the way that I like to train last time is an increase of 3 weeks and then a deload of 1 week. But this time, because I don't have much time, I'm literally just doing I'm increasing every week until the 10th week, which is the week of April 25th. And that's my only deload week. So that's pretty much the only difference. I will go over my training program in a minute, but I also want you guys to remember that I don't have a coach, what you might hear from Nick Bear, for example. He has a coach. I don't have a coach. My mom makes my programs for me. She used to be a huge runner. She's actually getting back into running too, which is so fun. So we'll go on some runs together. But my mom makes my running programs for me, and I trust her. She knows me very well, and she does a really good job at it. So I will tell you exactly what my mom wrote out for me, but just remember that if you want to follow this, you totally can. But also just remember that it's going to be different for each person. So take it with a grain of salt, but that doesn't mean that I don't want to share it with you guys. I do have a goal for this half marathon. My goal at my last half marathon was, like I said, to literally just finish. And my time when I finished last time was 2 hours and I think 22 minutes, something like that, or 2 hours, 20 minutes, 2 hours, 24 minutes. I should probably know the exact time. It's somewhere in my email, but it was around the 2 hour, 22 minute mark. And I was happy. I was proud. I did a half marathon. I felt really, really great. Meanwhile, I'm reading this book. Again, I'm rereading it. It's called Let Your Mind Run. It's by Dina Castor. Love that book. I'll talk about it in a minute. But in the book, they're talking about marathons and running full marathons. And Dina's goal was to run a marathon in under 2 hours and 20 minutes. Meanwhile, here I am doing a literal half marathon in 2 hours, 20 minutes. Anyway, so yeah, my goal for this half marathon that I'm running in 11 weeks on May 7th is sub 2:05. So under 2 hours and 5 minutes. At 2 hours or 1:59 would be amazing, but sub 2:05 is my goal, and I'll be really happy with anything sub 2:05. I'm writing it down every day in my self-care planner. Sub 2:05 marathon is my goal. So a couple inspirations that I wanted to shout out going into this marathon training. Number one, Nick Bear. I already talked about him, but I can't recommend his channel and his content enough. He is incredible. He's very digestible. I said all this before. I'll breeze over it again, but he's very, very good at what he does. and he's very motivational and very inspirational. It's hard to click off his video and not want to feel like the best version of yourself. He doesn't make you feel like you're less than. He doesn't make you feel like you're not doing enough. He's just really, really great at motivating, and he does a great job. The second inspiration is Let Your Mind Run by Dina Castor. It is the book that I read before my half marathon last time, and it's a book that I have since reread since I started running again. It is so good. It's amazing. Even if you're not a runner, I could not recommend this book enough. It is so special. It is so valuable. It is so optimistic. It focuses heavily on mindset, on positive thinking, on gratitude, and pretty much on everything that we talk about on the show. It is such an amazing book. And I literally have so many sentences in that book highlighted. It's like my Bible. It is such a good book. It's so inspiring. I sob like a baby when I read it. Like during the Olympics, I don't want to spoil it, even though it's all on the internet. It happened in 2004, but like I cried during it. Like, oh my God, it is just such a good book. So inspirational. And that book really, it carries me through a lot of my runs, and it follows me throughout the day, all day, every day, even on days that I'm not running, even on days that I don't even think about running. Whenever you do a hard task, this book comes into my mind. It is so amazing. I could not recommend it enough. Let Your Mind Run by Dina Castor. So, so, so good. So now that we know my goal and my inspirations, let's get on to how I'm training for this half marathon. So because my goal is to run it faster than last time, I am incorporating 4 runs into my training program. 1 easy run, 1 tempo run, 1 speed work, and 1 long run. So 4. And my plan is to run on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. Today's a Thursday, and it's also my first week back, and my legs are so sore. So I am not running today. I'm doing my run tomorrow. And on my off days, so on Monday, I want to do Pilates at home, and I also teach spin on Mondays. So Mondays, I will do Pilates and spin. Tuesday run, Wednesday run, Thursday run, Friday Pilates, and then Saturday I spin, and then Sunday run. For me, spinning, like I know it sounds like I don't have a rest day. My rest day is technically Fridays because Pilates is very low impact and sculpting and strengthening without like heavy lifting weights. I don't love lifting weights right now, so I'm not going to force my body to do it. I totally see the importance of it, but for me, I feel like I just get so much more out of Pilates. So I'm going to stick with Pilates. Pilates, running, and spinning is my thing. My off day really is Saturday because that's just spin. I've been doing spin now for years that it's almost like maintenance at this point, but it also just helps my cardiovascular. It's low impact. It feels great. I have a good time doing it. So yeah, it sounds like I don't have a rest day, but I kind of do. Like Saturday and Fridays are like kind of my rest day. But anyway, I'm so sore today, like I said, so I'm just switching my days this week. So I ran Tuesday, Wednesday, and I did Pilates today, and I'm going to run tomorrow and do my speed work tomorrow, and then spin Saturday and long run Sunday. So the speed works consist of tempo and speed. Tempo 1 means that you are 15 seconds faster per mile of your easy pace. So let's say my easy pace is a 10-minute mile. A tempo 1 run would be a 9:45-minute mile for whatever the distance that I'm running that day is. If I'm doing a tempo 2, that means it's 30 seconds faster than my easy pace. So again, if my easy pace is 10 minutes, my tempo 2 run is going to be 9 minutes and 30 seconds for the duration of that run. And then speed work, you can either do on a track or on a treadmill. I learned last time that I didn't like going to tracks. I felt like embarrassed to go, honestly. I don't know. It just wasn't my thing. I just felt like I didn't know what I was doing. Like I just didn't really have the confidence. So I'm going to focus a lot of my speed work on a treadmill, and I'll talk about that in a minute too. And then obviously your easy runs. My easy runs are every Tuesday, and those are just to get miles in, easy, recover, just get the mileage in. And then my long runs are just to get the distance down. Again, it can be like at easy pace tempo, but it's really just to progress my training forward. My mom made this for me again, so don't take it personally. Take it with a grain of salt. Every person's going to be different. Your baseline, your running levels, you might run so much faster than me. You might run so much slower than me. Like, I feel like I'm on the slower end of running. But that's okay. I really enjoy it. So yeah, my mom made this for me. Take it with a grain of salt. It's not going to match up perfectly. And let's see, what else did I write? I would do it in longer weeks, but this is what we're working with since I signed up late. Like I said, it's an 11-week program rather than, I think last time it was like a 16-week program, a 12 or 16-week program. But anyway, okay, let's get into the runs that I'm doing. This is exactly what I'm doing for the next 11 weeks. So you could write it down. You could skip ahead if this is no interest to you, but here it is. So starting this week of 221, which is technically last week by the time you guys listen to this, my easy run 3, my speed and tempo is always the same distance. So Wednesday and Thursday is always the same distance. Tempo 2, speed 2, and then my Sunday long is 4 miles. My treadmill speed work typically looks of like a quarter or a half mile warm up depending on the distance, and then with a quarter or let me explain this Sunday's 2 mile speed work. So a quarter mile warm up, and this all on the treadmill, a quarter mile warm up, and then a quarter mile at 6.5 miles per hour, quarter mile at 5.5 miles per hour, and then I repeat that 3 times, and then a quarter mile cool down, and then I walk a mile. So it's going to be a total of 2 miles running and then a mile walk, which totals out to like 3 miles. But that's like my speed work. Okay, so easy 3, tempo speed 2, long 4. Week 2, week of 228, easy 3, tempo speed 2, long of 5. Week 3, easy 4, tempo speed 3, long 6. This is my problem. I never know what weeks I'm at. Week 4 is easy 4, tempo speed of 3, long of 7. Week 5 is easy 5, tempo speed of 4, long distance of 8. Week 6 is easy 5, tempo speed of 5, long distance of 9. Week 7 is easy 6, tempo speed of 5, long of 10. Week 8 is easy 6, tempo speed 5, long 11. Week 9 is easy 7, tempo speed 5, and long of 12. Week 10, which is 1 week before the half marathon, is easy 5, speed tempo of 5, and long of 7. And week 11 is marathon week, and that is easy 4, tempo speed of 3, and long distance of 13.1, which is obviously the half marathon. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. Again, tempo and speed are 2 different days. Tempo is on Wednesday, speed is on Thursday, but they're the same distance. And yeah. So for the first, up until mile 5, all my tempo workouts are tempo 1. And then once I hit 5 miles, it's tempo 2. So yeah, that is my training program. If you guys wanted to write that down. But I get so many questions about like what my program is, where I get it. I get it from my mom, and that is my program. Okay, let's go into what I've learned from last time going into this run. So number 1, I know that I can do it. Last time when I was doing the half marathon training, it was honestly just to even prove to myself that I could do it, because I didn't even know if I could at the time. The distance was very intimidating. The runs were very long, but I've done it, and I did it on a pretty hilly course, I'll say. I mean, I wasn't like climbing mountains or anything, but it was pretty hilly for the city of Philadelphia. That was humbling, but I know I can do it. So I have a new sense of confidence going into this training than I did last time. I've also learned that running is mental, and letting your mind run helped me a lot. That's the book that I'm referring to, Let Your Mind Run. When I let my mind take over, I can run forever. It is truly autopilot once you let your mind take full advantage of the scenery and your thoughts. It's just a beautiful experience, and running is totally mental. I've also learned that I don't like running with a ton of clothes on. So this training weather is really good. That's why I didn't really run in the winter. Having to wear leggings tall socks and coats and layers and earmuffs and gloves. Oh my God. Like I was just like drenched by the end of it because I'm sweating, but then when you sweat, it gets freezing. It's just so not for me. So I really like running in like a long sleeve shirt and shorts if I have to. But I think that's like a really great running attire. So I really like running in this kind of climate, like end of winter, early rumblings of spring. And then early mornings in the summertime is my bread and butter. And of course, the fall. But like winter running, I don't think it's really for me. But then again, maybe I'll change next year. But as of right now, I learned that I don't like running with a ton of clothes on. So this training weather is good for me. If it were up to me, I'd do a sports bra and free people running shorts every day, but it's a little cold for that. Something else I learned is that I can run on a treadmill. I last marathon training had this mentality that like, oh, treadmill running is horrible. Treadmill running sucks. While it's definitely not my preferred method to get miles in, it is definitely a great way to do speed work. And I'm definitely planning on utilizing the treadmill a lot this marathon prep. Another thing is that I learned from last time that I'm not going to do this time is I switched my shoes just a little bit too close to the race. Um, I definitely broke them in time. I didn't have any blisters on race day, but I'm going to keep the same shoes that I wore last time into this race because I only have 11 weeks and I don't feel like breaking in shoes in any part of this. So I really like my shoes that I have. I have the Hoka Clifton 8s. I personally recommend them. I really like them. But again, shoes are very personalized. You have to kind of figure out what you like, what you don't like. I really like them. I feel very supported in them. I don't get any joint pains in them. So that feels really good. Um, but I don't love the color of them. They're like this weird, like neon orange. I'd rather have the all white kind. But I told myself if I hit my goal of sub 205, I will buy myself the all white Clifton 8 Hokas. That's my goal. And then I'll break in new shoes after the race. And the last thing that I learned from last time going into this run is that the training is what matters and not the race. Last time I really focused so much on the race and I didn't train as much as I wanted to. I really was just like, oh well, when the race comes, like I'll do it. But I've learned, and I'm going into this half marathon training with the mindset that the training is the main event. The prep, the training runs, the nutrition, that's the journey, and that's what builds up to the race. Like I know I can do the race, and I don't want to live for the race. I want to live for the training. I want to live for the journey that comes with it. I want to live for the lessons that I learn along the way. And I really learned that a lot from my last race is that it's really the training. That's where it's like so fun. I do love the training, and I'm happy to have purpose again in my runs and in training. So the training is what matters, not the race. What I'm looking forward to this half marathon is something to train towards again. The past couple of months, I've been taking it very easy. I've been doing walks, I've been doing Pilates, and I've been loving it. And so has my body. My body's been responding really, really well to it. And honestly, it's just what I've been craving. I haven't been craving high intensity. I haven't been craving weightlifting. I haven't been craving anything insane. I just do it my body once. And my body, after the half marathon, wanted Pilates, low impact, walking. And that's what I did. But lately, it's really been craving runs. And it's nice to have something to look forward to. It's nice to have a purpose in my workouts again. And it's nice to have something to train for. I feel really confident going into this prep, like I said, and I'm excited to document it along the way. Kind of having one race under my belt, I feel like I know, more than I did last time. Obviously, nowhere near a pro, but I feel more confident this time for sure than last time. So I'm excited to have something to train towards again. And I'm excited to have purpose in my workouts yet again. And lastly, I'm looking forward to allowing my body to tell me when I was ready to run. I'm really proud that I took a break when my body wanted to break, and I'm really proud that I'm getting back in it once like my body started talking to me and literally being like, it's you want to run again. It's crazy. Like your body is always talking, and it's just up to us to listen and to honor that. Once you become so in tune with your body, and it's not even something that I had to learn. It was just something that, when you want to go for a walk, when you want to crave some sort of movement. It's just honoring that. It's just then getting your mind to say, like, okay, let's go do this. So I'm really proud of myself that I listened to my body and I took the cues of giving it a break and then allowing it to jump back into high gear. So That was really fun, allowing my body to tell me when it was ready again. I'm looking forward to that. That was awesome. Okay, so I do want to talk quickly about nutrition as well. I don't want to harp on this for too long, but I do think nutrition is incredibly important to talk about when it comes to training, especially with endurance. You know what's so funny is I kind of feel like low-key I have imposter syndrome when I talk about this stuff, because here I am saying like, oh, this is an endurance run, but is it? Like, when I start to compare myself to other people, like other people will run a marathon in 3 hours, and other people will run 50 miles, 100 miles, do Ironmans. And here I am like, oh, a half marathon's an endurance run. It definitely is, Tori. Like 13 miles, like that's a long run. So I need to get out of this whole headset of like imposter syndrome and just like accept that like that's endurance, and that takes skill, and that takes time to build up, and it takes high volume of training density to get to that. So yeah, this is endurance training, and it's not imposter syndrome. But I do think when it comes to endurance, nutrition is important. I'm definitely focusing in on it a little bit more this time than last, but still allowing myself to be flexible and viewing food as something that I don't obsess over, because that would just be bad in all avenues. So the first thing that I wrote down here is that I found G1M Sport from Nick Bare's nutrition company, BPN supplements. He makes this drink called G1M Sport that has electrolytes and carbohydrates in it, which is really great to drink before, during, and after your runs, or any endurance. Like I'll bring it to spin class with me too, and it's delicious. I found it so close to my last half that like I couldn't really see huge benefits from it because I just didn't incorporate it enough in my last half. So I'm very excited to incorporate it into this half training and see if I feel a huge difference from it, if it helps with, less cramping, more endurance, stuff like that. So I'm excited to incorporate that into this half marathon prep. I'm also going to dial in more to really see if it helps. I believe that nutrition helps because I do feel some minor differences, but if I find like a formula, quote unquote, for me that I know works and that I really like, my body responds well to, I'm curious to see how well that will serve me in the future when it comes to training for a half marathon. Let's see. Something that I like to tell myself is that if I can have one good day, one day, I can have a good day every day. If I can find nutrition and hydration and a running routine that served me well one day, I know that I can do it any other day because I've already done it once. So kind of like that repetition I'm trying to get into a lot this year. If you can do it one day, it can be duplicated and replicated into another day. So for breakfast, typically I will go towards like my normal breakfast. I feel like my breakfasts are pretty much always solid. I always have either like oatmeal or eggs and toast, overnight oats, yogurt and fruit, like something along those lines. I don't really feel any need to switch up my breakfast. I love my breakfasts from how they are when I train versus when I'm not training. So I'm just going to keep those exactly the same to sort of see whatever I'm feeling that day. For lunch, typically for lunch, I will either do leftovers from dinner the night before, or I will do meat and rice of some sort. Lately, I've been on, it's so embarrassing, but I've been on the biggest kick of the salmon bowl, like from 6 months ago. I know I'm really late to the game, but it is like literally, it's heavenly to me. It is so good. I am so obsessed with it. So I will have like salmon and rice with like seaweed. Oh my God. Literally, I'm going to make it after I'm done recording this. It is so good. So I'll make like the salmon bowl, or I'll just do like teriyaki ground turkey and white rice. And it only takes like 15 minutes tops for both dishes to prepare. So some sort of like meat and rice. I just love that in the middle of the day. It's really, really filling. And on Monday nights when I teach spin, I literally have the endurance of like, I could run for hours when I have like a salmon bowl before my spin class. Oh my God. It's literally superfood. I don't even know how to explain it. And then for dinner, balanced. That's the only thing. Whatever that might look like. Some nights that might look like a turkey and vegetable soup. Other nights it might look like tacos. Other nights it might look like pasta if I have a long run the next day. Just balanced, honestly. I'm not going to be opting towards like, greasy bar food, but I will be opting towards anything that is a balanced meal for me. Like I said, my goal for this nutrition is to just help my endurance, but I don't want to obsess over food. That's not my thing here. And I also don't want to obsess over, my only goal is sub 205. I'm not trying to lose weight. I'm not trying to tone up. I'm not trying to look a certain way. I just want to do this for me and get some speed work in and be a little bit faster. So I find that if I were to sit here and harp on nutrition, it would just not serve me well. It would not serve my goal well. It would not serve my mental well. So I really just want to stick to kind of what I'm doing, just zone in a little bit more on, some carbs and protein and just eat balanced, whatever that might look like, balance definitely also means sweets. Like I love ice cream. I love sweets. Like I love chocolate. I love carbs. Like I'm not going to be cutting any of that stuff out. I'll probably limit my alcohol just because I don't even like drinking alcohol to begin with. So this is like a good excuse to just continue to not drink. But I'll probably have like one drink a week if I feel like it, like maybe a glass of wine, but I've never been a big drinker anyway, so for me, it's not like a huge thing. And then the last thing for nutrition that I really want to focus on is just drinking a lot of water. I noticed this a lot last marathon prep, and honestly, my whole life, I've never been good at drinking water. So I definitely just want to focus in on my hydration this time and just start drinking more water. More water is just good all around, helps your skin. Like, that's really awesome, like to have glowy skin. But it'll just help with endurance as well, and I won't feel like so thirsty. I always feel just like a little dry, and I think just drinking more water will ultimately help. So that's pretty much like what my nutrition looks like, my inspirations, my training program, pretty much all the things that I'm carrying into this prep. Now, if you guys are listening to this episode and maybe you feel inspired or you want to get started too, but you have no idea how to start, these are my tips. Again, this is only my second half marathon. I am no expert here, but these are my tips. Number one is to sign up for a race. It can be any race. It can be a 1 mile race. It can be a 5K, 10K, a 10 miler, a half marathon, a 50, an ultra. It doesn't matter. Sign up for a race and have that date in your calendar. Put the money towards it, like invest in yourself, sign up for the race, and then get the gear that you need. Get a watch. I have the Garmin Forerunner 55, and I absolutely love that watch. I think it's like amazing. So I have that. I have my Hoka Clifton 8s, which I really like, and get a couple workout sets. Cute ones, one that you feel good in, maybe you like shorts, maybe you like tight shorts, loose shorts, whatever it might be. Get stuff that you are investing yourself in. You sign up for the race, you got the gear, you're ready to go. From that, start with intervals. If you like hate running, first of all, look internally, because I used to say that too. I used to say, I hate running. It's not for me. I'm not a runner, da, da, da. Okay, if that's what you're telling yourself, of course you're going to identify as not a runner. Of course you're going to say, oh, I hate running. Running is not for me. I'm not a runner. Duh, because that's what you're telling yourself. Switch your mindset and say, I am a runner. I am becoming a runner. And listen, I know we all kind of have imposter syndrome. Maybe I'm projecting. I definitely have imposter syndrome sometimes. But even if you're not a runner and you start telling yourself, I am a runner, you will start to think and act like a runner. And you'll start to identify with it. How amazing is that? Start with intervals. Tell yourself that you're a runner and that you are starting with intervals. Try it outside before the treadmill. I honestly think outside is much more enjoyable than a treadmill. But if you don't have like the best running conditions outside, try a treadmill. Whether you're outside or on the treadmill, walk for 1 minute and then run for 1 minute and repeat that for 20 minutes. And once you feel like you have that down, bump it up a notch, run for 2 minutes and walk for 1 minute. Repeat that for 20 minutes and just keep building up this endurance until maybe you can run for a half mile straight and then 1 mile straight and then 1.5 miles straight and then 2 miles straight. Another tip that I hear a lot is run for the minutes, not the miles. And I really like that too. Maybe run for 5 minutes and then walk for 1, or run for 10 minutes and then walk for 2. And just keep repeating these intervals until you feel confident and like you can keep going, and allow yourself time to build up. Allow yourself this opportunity to grow. But I also think you're going to be amazed at how quickly your body responds and how quickly you will be able to increase your endurance and your mileage and your time running, and your cardiovascular will drastically improve pretty quickly as well. Go at your own pace. There is no race here. Like, you're not out to beat anyone. You don't get a medal for being the fastest runner ever. You don't get a medal for running under a 10-minute mile or over a 10-minute mile. There's no pressure here. Just run. That's all you have to do. Put one foot in front of the other and run. Think positively. Think that you love this, that you enjoy this. And when it gets hard, remember to switch your mindset. Instead of saying, wow, this is really hard, to I'm challenging myself today and I'm going to come out a better version of myself because of this. it's hard to kind of rewire your brain, but the more you do it, the easier it's going to get. I'm going to refer back to Let Your Mind Run. Please read that book. It talks all about that kind of mindset shift throughout runs and also throughout life. It is just so incredible. But if you want to start running, my tips are to invest in yourself, start with intervals, and change your mindset. Those 3 things are going to take you so far. One other thing that I want to add in before I end this episode is that during my last half marathon, I saw every single walk of life during a half marathon. I saw every fitness level. I saw the most elite runners I've ever seen in my life in person, to people that I was like, wow, good for them. Like I love the inspiration that comes from running, because you see literally every single type of person, every single walk of life, every single fitness level you could imagine doing this race with you. It is so inspiring. It is so beautiful. It is so humbling, and it's such an amazing experience. There is no look you have to fit in. There's no time you have to fit in. There's no box category that you have to fit in to be a runner. If you can move, you're a runner. And I just think that is so beautiful. So guys, that is my next half marathon and training program, along with some goals, how you guys can get started, my inspiration, and everything else in between. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I post on my Instagram, and I have a little highlight on my profile all about like my training runs and stuff like that. So I will have that linked down below. Go follow me. It's at @ToriSterling_. And yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching today's episode and listening to today's episode. Be sure to leave a comment on the video, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye, guys. It's my favorite time of the week to talk about skincare. And lately I am obsessed with Osea skincare. They are hands down my absolute favorite in the game right now. And that's a lot for me to say because I have so many products. Anyway, I love Osea. They are absolutely amazing. One thing that I've added into my routine is the Osea body oil. This is the hot girl product. This is the product that gives you that luxurious, glowy look while leaving your skin feeling really soft and nourished. Find your new skincare favorites at OseaMalibu.com and get a special discount just for our listeners. Get 10% off your first order with promo code MANIFEST at OseaMalibu.com. You'll get free samples with every order, and orders over $50 get free shipping. You're going to want it all. Go to OseaMalibu.com and use code MANIFEST. One of my favorite ways to get greens in my diet while tasting delicious is in a smoothie. And I always love a smoothie, but I don't like the cleanup of it. It's so messy, especially when I use like a big blender. But lately, that's why I've been going towards a NutriBullet. The NutriBullet blender combo is the most versatile NutriBullet, allowing you to effortlessly switch between single serve and full-sized blending. For smoothies and protein shakes to savory soups and dips, the NutriBullet literally does it all. Go to NutriBullet.com and use promo code MANIFEST for 20% off your order. Once again, that's NutriBullet.com and use promo code MANIFEST for 20% off. If you don't have a NutriBullet in your kitchen, you are missing out.